Everybody, what's up? Everybody, what's up? Big Jason. Welcome to the latest episode of the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. It is Thursday, July 17th, 3:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Typically, every week, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Glad to have you. Just going to wait for a few more people to get on the call. Today we're talking about how a weird iPhone accessory salesman can teach you how to cause an avalanche of sales from your emails. If you want to chat live with me, you can enter in breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. That way you can join our private Breakthrough Email Marketing Skype group and you can chat live because Google Hangouts has a delay, so I might not see your questions in real time. But this way I will via Skype. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in the chat box. Hey, Carl. And I'm also going to be answering all your questions today. All right. Cool, so I'm going to go live to my presentation. If I can actually get my toolbox to show. My toolbox is actually hiding from me, which is odd. Excellent. I'm here now. All right, here we go. Let's make sure. All right, one last time, if you are watching this live, you can join us in the private Skype group to ask me questions in real time because there's a delay with Google Hangouts. So you can go to breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. All right. What a weird iPhone accessory salesman can show you about creating an avalanche of sales from your emails. This happened to me recently when I was having lunch with my good buddy Scott Haynes, a famous Gary Halbert protege, greatest copywriter who ever lived. And we were having lunch with another good buddy, Warren Whitlock, here in Las Vegas at Planet Hollywood in Caesars Palace. And it's kind of weird that the restaurant Planet Hollywood is not actually in the Planet Hollywood Hotel. It's in Caesar's Palace Hotel. So anyways, they have the best Captain Crunch chicken fingers. It's the best appetizer you'll ever have in the entire world. All my travels, I love Captain Crunch chicken fingers. Although that doesn't count for Little Bunny, my wife's cooking. That's even better than Captain Crunch chicken fingers, just for the record and for my health. All right, terms and conditions. You may not share this information with anyone. This includes your mastermind group, friends, JV partners, or anyone else, whether online or offline, especially Facebook. However, I do appreciate rave reviews, but make sure they're blind. Don't give anything away. That's people need to be watching these shows to get these specifics. Kind of like Bond here, where he says every email quote-unquote guru I know warned against using one simple tactic, which increased my click-through rate 400%. Only Jason said such a tactic would work. All right, so like I was saying, we're having lunch at Planet Hollywood Restaurant in Caesar's Palace here in Vegas, and I'm waiting for Warren and Scott to arrive, and out of the blue, this really weird iPhone accessory salesman, he's got this kiosk, he jumps out of nowhere, and what he said was amazing, but what he showed me was even more amazing. It was like he used the light shining down from heaven to just compel me to want what he had to sell. So what did he actually say? What did he actually do to get me foaming at the mouth and just rip out my wallet, grab my credit card, and say, I'll take it? And how can we use that in your emails? How can you use that in your emails, more importantly? All right, let's go over it. Again, breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype if you want to ask questions live. Otherwise, enter it in the chat box and let's go. All right, so what did he say? He said, hey, how you doing? I see you have an iPhone. Don't you just hate it when your battery dies at the worst times? Let me show you in less than 1 minute how to prevent this from ever happening again using this tiny solar-powered battery, which works with or without sunlight. So what is so significant about what he said, and how can we use that? How can you use that in your emails? Notice how I'm correcting myself? It's kind of like I'm editing an email right now. I keep on saying we when it's really you. You and your. All right, so let's analyze what he said. So first he established rapport. Hey, how are you doing? He didn't just go into his spiel. Me and Little Bunny, my wife, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary this past Sunday, July 15th. Thank you very much. And we also celebrated her birthday. Actually, I'm about to get slapped. It was actually July 13th. Her birthday is July 15th. Sorry about that. And we celebrated by spending a week in New York and a week in Paris again. Paris was our favorite stop on our 3-month honeymoon last year. And I got her private cooking lessons. She's a chef. Got her private cooking lessons with the famous master chef, Patrick. He's French. And he told us, and here's how this applies to this. He said, it's not true that Parisians are just, by default, so rude to Americans. It's that Americans are so rude to Parisians. They just go up to them and start asking them questions and, you know, what can you do for me? Gimme, 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 gimme. He's like, all you have to do, even if you want something, all you have to simply do is say bonjour, and then ask for information, directions, or whatever you need. The simple fact of saying bonjour, hello, you know, smooth things over so it doesn't make you appear rude. So again, really good point for emails. Establish a little rapport, especially if it's a new list, they're new to you, you haven't really established the relationship entirely. All right, so he establishes rapport. Hey, how you doing? And then he says, I see you have an iPhone. So that's all about personalization and segmentation, which you can be using in your emails. Now, you could have a list, and you don't really know if they have an iPhone. So you could be saying, if you have an iPhone. But here, he actually knows he's segmented me as a targeted prospect, which you guys should do too. Surveys, questions. Nope. So Sally went to breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype and got an error message. Ignore that. Skype should open. If you don't have Skype open, go ahead and open up Skype, log in, and then click the link again. Skype should open and just say agree, and it should take you straight to the Skype group. All right. So I see you have an iPhone. So he personalizes his spiel to me, and he's segmented me out of everyone that's going by him. Now, it doesn't mean he's not going to talk to anyone else or talk to anyone that he doesn't see as an iPhone, but he knows that he can target and personalize his message to me because he knows that I have an iPhone. So same thing with your emails. You need to be targeting and specializing your emails for people that you know certain factors, like if they have iPhone or not. All right, then he says, don't you just hate it when your battery dies at the worst times? So he's addressing the pain. Let me show you in less than 1 minute. So what did he do right there? So as I'm sure most of you know, when you go to a mall, there's all these kiosks, and they're all trying to get your attention, and they're like, oh, they want to show you. Oh, I don't know about you, but it just pisses me off. It's a waste of my time. Typically, I just ignore them. So what he did there is he addressed the cost of me listening to him. He said, let me show you in less than 1 minute. So he basically said, I know what you're probably thinking. That's going to be a long spiel. It's going to waste your time. But he says, no, let me show you in less than 1 minute. So that's very good in subject lines, in openings of emails, in calls to action, is to address the costs of what you're asking your subscriber to do. And I'm not just saying this, willy-nilly, pulling out of my bum. This really affected me and helped him get the sale instantly. And the same thing in my tests and in last year, sending over 350 emails, it's the same thing, time and time again. It's always good to address the cost of the action you're asking your subscribers. And then here's the huge benefit: how to prevent this from ever happening again. So you could argue, oh, you could have been more specific and said how to prevent your iPhone from ever dying again. But in this situation, no. It was quite obvious. Sometimes you can do deletions. They know what you're talking about. So not the biggest deal in the world. So how to prevent this from ever happening again? Wow. He doesn't really need to say that, because immediately what that says to me is like, wow. I immediately think in my mind, wow, how would it be if my iPhone never died? If I never had to go through that, we're like, oh, dang it, I need to check my email, I need to do a phone call, and my power is gone. Can't check Facebook, nothing. So really good phrasing that he used, and the phrasing that you guys can use. Then he follows up with this one little word, tiny. tiny solar-powered battery. So I did some searching, and there are some very big, not too big, but pretty big solar-powered battery packs for iPhones and other electronic devices. So the fact that he said tiny basically addressed a common objection that he may be hearing, that they're too big, too bulky. So he's right up front telling me that it's a tiny solar-powered battery. So I like that. Again, at the very end, this is critical. Again, he's answering a common objection he's probably heard, which works with or without sunlight. Because that was an objection that I had immediately, is, do I really want to worry about whether I'm in the sun or not? And so he basically sold it before he even did anything. But what he did was impressive as well. But just even before he did that, he had some really good copy, as you will. So all very important what he said before he even did this. So what he did next. Here's a little quote that I love that I heard Gary Benzavenga say. No argument in the world can ever compare with one dramatic demonstration. Claude Hopkins. Now, most people, a lot of quote-unquote experts think that the dramatic demonstration only should come in the sales letter. Wrong. Especially depending on how saturated your market is, you got to actually get them to the sales letter. So just think about if you can do a powerful, dramatic demonstration in the email, how much more clicks and how many more sales that you could have than blindly sending them to the sales letter. Because if you blindly send them to the sales letter, they may never even get to the demonstration. But if you actually demonstrate and qualify the subscriber, it could lead to a lot more qualified clicks and a lot more sales. And again, according to Gary, he's actually one of the top 5 copywriters to ever walk the face of the earth. Some people say he was the top #1, but that's false. That's asinine to say that. It's actually Gary Halbert. But he's close. He's in the top 5. You could say he's #2 behind Gary. He says a powerful demonstration is your #1 tool for building belief in your offer. Parenthesis, email. Okay. The quote-unquote experts will tell you, like I just went over some great quote-unquote copy to use in an email. Good little swipe template for you to use, to model, but it doesn't mean you can't do even better with what I'm going to share. Yes, Carl just had a comment about he's getting the picture about the quote-unquote costs as in time and effort. Correct, time and effort. So, how do you do the powerful demonstration that he did? Now, what did he actually do? This is not the exact model, so I'm going to tell you what he actually did. So, he asked if he could see my iPhone. I said yes. He plugs it in, and he, again, is like he used the light from heaven. The kiosk was situated where there was natural light coming in, and instantly he just moved a little bit and the light hit it, and you could see, I could see instantly that my iPhone started charging and the solar-powered battery started engaging, activating. And I said engaging for a specific reason, because how you can do that in your emails is with images, which helps build more attention, interest, and engagement in your emails. Even more powerful a lot of times than just great copy. So he gave a powerful demonstration. I could see it working right then and there, and it blew me away, and I had to have it. So we want your readers to have the same emotions when they're reading your email. They've got to have it. Doesn't mean you should do it every single time. Doesn't mean you shouldn't use some good teasing with specifics and just get them to the sales letter if it's a really good sales letter. But time and time again, depending on the situation, if you use images demonstrating, you can either demonstrate the product, you can demonstrate your credibility, you can see your response go through the roof versus just copy. All right, I'm going to try to go live here. Not sure if you can see that. So what I'm going to do is this is actually an animated image in an email. It was sent to my wife from the Zumba Corporation, and basically it's the girls holding each other, they're buddies, they're in a Zumba class, and they're shaking their booties, and there's these tassels. Well, they were selling the new Zumba cargo pants with tassels. That was the thing, tassels. And so rather than just using a static image, their booties were going back and forth, and the tassels were in motion. So she could not tell you one thing that was said in the email. Obviously, she would just assume cargo pants and tassels was in it, but she couldn't tell you anything else. All she can remember is that image and wanting those cargo pants, which she has. But it doesn't mean you have to use animated images. You could use just a static image to show demonstration. Here's an example from a client. And again, you can use with or without text, depending on the situation. I think in this situation, the text was much better, but you can test it. You got the mole before the treatment, mole with Dermatend just 12 hours later, mole healing nicely, no trace of mole. And then here's another one, before, after. Really powerful. Yes, you can go through the pain, and you can go through the fantasy of not having them all anymore, and you can do some great conversational copy, but time and time again, with or without images, with images, more powerful. But I just want to give you a warning. Email marketing, quote-unquote, experts get their assumptions from here. They tell you don't use images simply based on what comes out of their ass. They don't have any data, they just have opinions and assumptions. So you got to be careful about that. And they don't care about results, they don't care about split tests, they care about being right. So here's an example of a split test I did. They don't care. So you should care. You should care about boosting the response to emails as much as possible, getting the most attention, interest, and engagement. How can we emulate the power of an actual demonstration with a static image? Just like I showed you. So I basically went through the phases of having them all, using the product, and not having them all anymore. And then again, before and after. You can use, especially with health and weight loss, you can do before and afters are good as well. And I'm actually going to go live to fireworks. It's a graphics program at adobe.com. There's a free trial. So I'm just going to show you real quick. There's a free trial, so anyone can do this. Let me find it. Almost there. Here we go. All right, so you should see my fireworks screen. So it's going to be simple. You're going to open the file open, and then in your little box over here, it's going to say optimize history, align, pages, states, layers. Go to states, and this button right here is going to create a new layer. It says new duplicate state. I'm actually going to demonstrate this real quick, and then I'll actually show you actually creating a new state and how you would make an animated image. I'm just going to play. So now what's the difference between static and animated? Again, it just gets more attention. It's a little more dramatic effects. Some of my tests, the animated works better. Sometimes the static does. And each state has a time interval. So typically I like to go either 100 or 200 between each version, and then at the very end pause 300. So there's math involved. Don't worry, you don't need to worry about that. Just worry about typically 100 or 200 between each state, and then at the end 300, so it pauses a little bit. And then here's another version. Again, now I'm targeting women. So this went to women. The other one was for men. Again, personalization, segmenting. You can do that based on gender as well. All right. So here is this solar-powered iPhone charger. It's not the same one, but it'll do. And you can actually move the states around as well. You can change the order. So there you go. So you got this one. All right. So how do we add an element? So click here, add a different state, file, import. Okay, so here I'm demonstrating how it actually works. It's in the car. I'm charging. So I've just been informed that there is a limitation on Google Hangouts. You're not seeing the images. So that sucks. So I will have to do a separate video. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase this whole section. My apologies for that. And I'll just do a bonus video that I'll send you separately. So let's just go back to the presentation. All right, so to recap this weird iPhone accessory salesman, he basically showed you how to cause an avalanche of sales from your emails by using the power of demonstration. Don't just rely on copy. Test using images, static or animated. And again, look forward to that free video showing how, with just a free trial of Adobe Fireworks, formerly Macromedia Fireworks, how you can use the animated image. And I'll show you sizing and file size and all that to make sure it's not too big. And let me know if you have any questions on that. And I go in depth with Email Response Warrior, my course. You can see it on, no, you can't see it on the screen. There you go. Emailresponsewarrior.com. It's my course on improving the response to any email you send, regardless of the system you use. It's based on over 18 years of proven results, not guesswork. Over 500 million emails sent, over 100 million split tests, emails split tested. Last year I sent over 350 million emails. I also have a module in this course called the Advanced Guide to Using Images in Emails. So emailresponsewarrior.com, check that out. So are there any questions about what I've covered on how to use a powerful demonstration in your emails to increase your sales? Again, Claude Hopkins, no argument in the world can even compare with one dramatic demonstration. Again, you can do that in copy. Like, do you make these mistakes in English? And via copy, show the mistakes people make in English. But like I said, through split testing, images can be even more powerful than that as well. So you can use a combination. Again, watch out for the quote-unquote experts. And be sure to let me know on Facebook, let the world know, facebook.com/bigmarketing if you want to tag me and let everyone know if you receive value from today's show. I'd appreciate it. If you're watching the replay, be sure to leave your comments and questions below. And if you're live, hit me up. Do you have any additional questions? Let me know. Otherwise, we will wrap it up, and I will see you next Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Unless you hear from me otherwise, be sure to whitelist and add my email to your contacts list, bigjason@emaildominion.com, so it doesn't end up in the spam or junk folder. Why don't you go ahead and add a filter, like a little folder in your email program, so all my emails get put in there to make sure you don't miss a show. Just gonna hit the Skype group. If you have any additional questions. And I'm back. All right, guys, I'm going to give it a little more time to see if there's any additional questions. You're welcome, Carl. Again, you want that emotional reaction that I had live, where I just had to have the product. You want that in your emails as well. Not every time, but a lot of times you can sell in emails. Just like sales letters, people buy just from one bullet. Well, that's how you can sell in emails as well. People buy simply from the email that you send, and it makes the sales letter irrelevant. So that's basically what they mean by a sideways sales letter in a product launch. The product launch has built them, got them in a hot bother that they don't care about the sales letter. When it's released, they go straight to the buy now button. Same thing with email. Even just one email, if you can do a powerful demonstration in the email, that's enough to do it, to drive a ton of sales. All right. It looks like people got a lot out of this call, and there's no additional questions. Again, look forward to a follow-up bonus video on how to do an animated image in Fireworks. And if you want my advanced guide using images and emails and my entire Email Response Warrior course, plus my bonus Email Copywriting Bootcamp, check out Email Response Warrior at emailresponsewarrior.com. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.